Welcome to DAPs Magic Live. I am Mr. DAPs, and I'm joined tonight by Caitie and Murry as we go through the Extinct Attraction Showdown. That's hard to say. Extinct Attraction Showdown. Yeah. This is something that we started a few weeks ago when we were talking about our favorite Disney attraction in the domestic Disney parks, and we realized it was incredibly important to go through and do an Extinct Attraction Showdown, right?
It's true, yeah. Well,
so
we were talking about in the stream that we did a week ago or whatever. What is that?
It's my shoulder porg.
Why is it here?
It's Star Wars Day,
and Norm
wanted to be on. I told him he could be on. And
we were like, "How many porgs can we get on one show?"
Why?
In the comments below, let us know if you love or hate porgs, because we want to know. It's
I'll let you know right here, right now.
We know. All right, so we are going to start this thing off with a look at all of. We're going to start with Disneyland, right? Is that what we're going to do, Murry?
We're starting with Disneyland, yes.
Okay, so we're going to show. You made this really awesome graphic that we can see all of the brackets for every extinct Disneyland.
I wouldn't claim every extinct. I did not put like the Chicken of the Sea restaurant or
disappointed.
The Wizard of Oz.
That's not an attraction.
Or I don't know if I always can't quite find how much it was an attraction or not. But
it was more of an icon, wasn't it? And
I think a little bit, yeah.
And it's a dining location, so I think you're fair saying unless you have other dining locations included in this.
Did I cheat a little bit? There's not really. There is an arcade. There's a couple arcades.
Okay.
They were deemed as attractions.
I think that's fair.
So
we'll run with it. Okay, so let's get this thing started. Where are we starting off, Murry?
We're starting off with the Walt Disney Story in Disneyland, the first 50 years. They were two attractions called attractions that were in the Main Street Opera House. Yeah.
And could you give us a brief description of each of them? I'm aware of them. Caitie, have you experienced either or both of these?
I'm pretty sure I've experienced Disneyland first 50 years.
Okay.
If it's what I think it is.
It is.
Okay. I am not familiar with the Walt Disney Story.
So the Walt Disney Story, it was mostly an exhibit in the Main Street Opera House. They did, I believe, have Walt's office or like a replica of it for a long time as part of it. And then a lot of like different artifacts from Walt's era that was on display. But that was sort of the main feature of the Main Street Opera House for a long time. I think they still had, and it sort of went off and on of having Lincoln with it. Because like sometimes they would even say the Walt Disney Story featuring great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
And I remember having it, and it was it there? It was the old version of it, right?
Yes.
It was pre hair snips. Yeah.
I've heard many a story about the hair snips.
So we were starting off with these two.
Many a story.
Many a story.
Caitie, do you want to make a blind guess on which one you think was the better of the two? I'm actually thinking what I think is the better of the two.
Okay. Well, I have only experienced one.
So you're going to vote for it?
Yeah, I'm going to say Disneyland the first 50 years because it's good. I feel like I've seen it in recent years and I've been like, that was fun when the first time I saw it and it's still fun now. So.
Okay. Murry, what do you think? And you can change people's minds if you want.
Now that it's funny. I made the brackets. I didn't think too hard about them, like which one I really would pick. I'm going to talk it out. Okay, so Disneyland, the first 50 years, it's a really fun movie with Steve Martin. I missed it. What's that?
It replaced Abe Lincoln.
Well, I think they took it out. I think they were starting to do some movie previews after a while. So
yeah, I guess they did. Yeah. Both. But initially, when they first did it, you went in and you watched it on the big screen instead of Lincoln, and that's what I would say was the full version of this attraction in its peak.
Yep. So, as much as I liked it, I didn't like that it was in the main theater.
I agree.
That I think Lincoln was better. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Walt Disney Story, and also because of the replica of The Office.
I was gonna say, to me, it's all about the replica of The Office. Like that's something that was really magical to see, and it connected you with Walt in a way. Like Disneyland already does that because you're walking where Walt walked, and that's always special. But then to see his office, which very few people. I mean, there's the occasional tour now up at the studios, but. For the most part, it's not something that the average guest is going to get to see. And this made it completely accessible for anyone. You could walk in. I think they had the castle model too there, didn't they? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
And you could see how Walt changed the castle and flipped it around, and they'd be like, "Hey, look at this!" And it was remember that. Yeah, it depended on the cast member, but there were certain cast members that would always point those kinds of things out. And it really made it more of a, it really connected you more with the history of Disneyland than I think it has ever since, even with the Disney Gallery stuff there now, which is really fun. But I don't feel like you get the same depth you got, what was that, 15 years ago? Maybe more now, 18 years ago?
Yeah, I think more.
So I would vote for the Walt Disney Story also.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Caitie? Do we turn you?
I think that's fine. I was also going to ask, what years was the Walt Disney Story active?
I don't remember when it began. I remember when it left.
I'm actually not. Yeah, I'm not sure when it started.
It was very cool, and it's one of those big bummers. And Chris here is saying he'd seen it, and it really was worth seeing. But it was one of those things that I feel like a lot of people just walked down Main Street and didn't even realize was there. And I will bring over the this is D23's site. So here's Walt Disney Story. So they are saying 1973. Wow. So that lasted quite some time.
Yeah.
But see, that's the view I remember. Like that, to me, when I think of Opera House, that is the view I remember.
That's me too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I feel like this is actually more 80s possibly.
Yeah, I think this is a more recent photo as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking at everything. All right. So we've got our first bracket. What is our second bracket that we have
All right. We are putting Walt Disney Story.
I see the next one and I'm excited.
Yes, we are going
to Adventureland.
Actually, we could go. Let's go over. We're going to go to the right.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go. They get a little hard.
This is hard.
This is Golden Horseshoe. I put kind of shows. So like the original, and then there was a bit of an
that's hard
iteration later on that was more of a review. But the more classic Golden Horseshoe shows, or Billy Hill and the Hillbillies.
Oh, why did you do that to us?
That's hard, Murry.
Okay, that is really, really hard. Welcome on.
We're gonna have a challenge. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's a good one. Who wants to go first? Like, I feel like there's a right answer and a wrong answer with this too, because I will say I have many more memories that are fond memories of Billy Hill and the Hillbillies. I think that's one of the reasons we got Knott's Passes when they moved over there. Like, we still go and watch them when we can. And however, if we're going for iconic, fits in with the theme of Frontierland, kind of the vision and the story of Frontierland, if we're trying to connect with that, feel like I have to go with the other one. I mean, it's Wally Bogue.
That's what I was going to say. You do have Wally Bogue in the classic Golden Horseshoe shows.
That's a challenge for me. So I think that's where I would go. How about you?
Me?
Nobody's like, I don't want to go on the record for this one.
I don't.
I mean, I didn't either, but I did.
Okay, so and that's the thing, is I agree with you that there is a certain magic about the original Golden Horseshoe review. It was actually one of my grandfather's favorite things. It was actually a lot like me when it came to Disneyland, where he just wanted to sit around and watch things. He didn't really care to hit attractions. This is kind of a soft spot for me, where I'm like, how could I not say the Horseshoe? But then I'm like, but Billy Hill and the Hillbillies. Yeah. But I am going to say Golden Horseshoe.
Okay, so that's two for Golden Horseshoe. Are you gonna make it an even 3, Murray?
I think I am, and only because I think it still might have the world's record. Maybe not.
It's up there.
I think it possibly had a world's record at one point for shows. It lasted a long time. I love the Hillbillies, but I think I got to give it to Golden Horseshoe for having a longer span at the park.
Well, and it's just, it fits Frontierland better than anything they've ever done since. And I actually think if the question weren't best, and instead were, what show would you like to go see over and over and over again every Sunday? We'd be like, Hillbillies, because that's what we did. Yeah. And I would catch the 3:15 show for years on Sunday afternoon of Billy Hill and the Hillbillies in the Golden Horseshoe Saloon. And that was like, I'm going to go sit up in the balcony. I'm going to get my fish and chips or whatever. And we're going to watch the Hillbillies. But I do think for best, we have to go with the other one.
That's hard. Okay.
That was very difficult, Murray. You're starting out ruthless.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. So we got Golden Horseshoe. We'll go back over. We've got, this one might be a little bit easier. We got the Tahitian Terrace and Aladdin's Oasis.
This one to me is ridiculously easy. How about you guys?
Yeah.
Which one? Yeah, 100% Tahitian Terrace.
I gotta give it Tahitian Terrace.
I mean, I don't feel like we even need to validate it. It's just like
as we're bringing up like classic or like shows that fit with whatever theme. Like Aladdin does fit, but I think Tahitian Terrace was all the way Adventureland. I mean, it was a Polynesian.
I never experienced Aladdin's Oasis. I mean, obviously, I never experienced Tahitian Terrace either. But to me, the big takeaway is like Aladdin's Oasis was cool, and there was a really neat Cave of Wonders. But
I like the Indiana Jones show there better.
But Tahitian Terrace just
that lasted like 2 seconds. It seemed like our buddy Roger, who often does the socials for us on Geeks Corner, says Tahitian Terrace. He is correct by that, and he also
good for him.
Golden Horseshoe does. He knows. Yeah.
And there we go. Longest continuous shows. That has to be live action shows though, because doesn't Carousel of Progress also have a record somewhat like that for stage shows, longest continuous stage shows, or
it might be very possible.
Most. Anyway, what do we got next, Murray?
We went back over to the right. We've got the Indian Village, which probably is going to be really obscure sounding, and Big Thunder Ranch. I have a feeling where this is going to go just automatically.
Really? I'm conflicted.
Really?
I would say I'm unfamiliar with the Indian Village.
Okay.
It's exactly what you think it would be.
Yeah. It actually, I believe it's actually where the Indian Village is at. No, I take that back. It was where Critter Country was at. So.
Yeah, it's okay. just before you'd get to Big Thunder to Hungry Bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. And then they moved it to the other side. Then it was basically down in the front. Anyway, keep going.
But yeah, it was basically an Indian village. There were shows. Think of Knott's Berry Farm, the dancing show, but
honestly,
on a grander scale.
That's what I was thinking of, but I was like, I didn't know if that was correct. Okay,
that is correct. And then Big Thunder. Which one were you counting for this? Because there was quite a few.
Of the Indian Village?
No, Big Thunder. What did you count as the Big Thunder show? Because I think you could do.
Oh, not show. I think just the ranch overall.
Like, well, definitely
because the Indian Village, I think, still had some
that was
interactive elements, but you could go into some different areas
But there were goats at Big Thunder Ranch, and you could see the running of goats every day.
The ranch, simply because the running of the goats.
Yeah, iconic. And they had some great entertainment there through the years too. Whether it was the Hunchback of Notre Dame show, or there were individual what was it, Spring Fling? What was the thing where they had all the characters? And then they had the what was the one where they had all the characters that weren't normal, like that you never saw? Long Lost Friends was back there. They'd have AP days back there. It was Long and Lost. Yeah, definitely Big Thunder. Okay.
All right, we're going Big Thunder.
That was easier than expecting.
All right. Big Thunder there.
We're going to the other side again.
Back over. We're going on the other side. Here we go with a little bit of a harder one.
Oh, this is not hard.
Really? Swiss Family Treehouse or Disney Gallery?
This is hard.
What? Okay, I feel like I'm asking so many questions.
The Disney Gallery is was where the Dream Suite is now, and you could go in and they had books, they had artwork, and they had a shop up there, and you could go out on the little plaza, and it had a great view. Back in the day, it was worth it just to go up and stand on the terrace. And then they had this other thing that was an Adventureland that was called the Swiss Family Robinson.
That I know. You butt. I do know that one.
They turned that into Tarzan's Treehouse in a ridiculously quick turnaround, I believe in 1997. Is that correct?
These are some.
Wasn't it 98?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Show me.
Do I have some? Are there some very pixelated photos up?
Yeah, and the cool thing about this though is when you go up to the Dream Suite now, is it really kept the flavor of this area when they redid it. So when you go into this, that's a dining room now, and it does have a very similar feel. It's been updated and it's changed, but it was a really lovely. It was 99. Thank you, Roger.
I was about to,
yeah. Well, and that makes sense because I was here when they did it. But all right, so back to us. Which one do you think, Caitie? Go ahead, since you haven't been any of them.
Well, I've been in the Swiss Family Treehouse in Florida.
Yeah, it's very similar.
A little smaller.
Okay. This is difficult. I want to say the Disney Gallery.
Okay.
And there's a deafening silence that tells me that I'm wrong.
No,
I actually expect Murry to say the Disney Gallery too. We'll see if I'm wrong.
Well, it just seems like there was a quaintness to it. And then the fact that you got that view, which is something, there's really good views from Tarzan's Treehouse, but
I think both of them are correct answers. Just because I know where Murray's going to go, I would say Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. Mainly though, because it did one of the best jobs of bringing a story to life of any Disney attraction. It literally felt like, if you've seen that original movie from Disney, it felt like they picked it up out of wherever they filmed it, and they dropped it in the middle of Disneyland. And you could imagine opening the roof and sleeping at night, and 4 to 5 month turnaround. And thank you, Roger. But you could really imagine that experience, and it really stimulated the imagination. And I think that's one of the things that Disney magic is at its best, is when it does take you out of the realistic and puts you into the world of storytelling, and I just think that one did a fantastic job. However, I know both of you want Disney Gallery, so we can put that one in too. Do you have something to add?
No, I
think that's completely fair.
I will acknowledge, as you'll keep seeing, I was trying to put the brackets in a way that it, one wouldn't be quite an obvious choice.
It's not.
It's not. I'll admit this is not an easy one. I think the Swiss Family Treehouse was a wonderful attraction, a classic attraction. One that was overseen by Walt Disney as well. So it's It's hard to say, but I think it was
a massive tree.
They did, yeah.
But no, the Disney Gallery
didn't draw, I think. Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the good things, just to play devil's advocate on my argument, is one of the great things about the Disney Gallery is that is where some of the best conversations would happen. Is you would meet these really amazing people, whether they're Imagineers, artists, or just random people that were in other part of the parks that came over to buy whatever poster was new this month or whatever piece was new. Like, it was just a really good place to network with people and connect with people. And the new Disney Gallery, I feel like, does that to a lesser extent, but because it's such a high traffic area, I feel like it's a little bit different.
I think it's a little smaller too. There's much more various spaces in the one in New Orleans Square.
And it's not an iconic destination. Like, it's fun and it's a great place to visit, but it doesn't have that same. There's something that was a little bit extra magic at the other one. All right, I think we have our choice.
All right, and going back over, we've got the Mike Fink Keel
That's
Boats.
a hard one.
And the Rainbow Caverns Mine Train.
I know what I would think, but I think it could go either way.
I feel like we are going to have to educate Caitie a little bit on this.
Do you know about?
I haven't even been on. I'll admit.
But I haven't been on either. I'm familiar with the keel boats. Okay. I am also familiar with the other one. My brain. I'm so sorry, guys. My brain is melted. I can picture it in my head as I'm talking.
I think from now on, you should not even say which thing you pick by name. Just say that one, that one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Did you ever get to go on the keel boats, Mr. DAPs?
Yeah. Oh, totally. I loved them as a kid. Yeah. I was a little bit too young for mine trains, but I think everybody was. Not everybody. Like, on this stream, we're all too young.
Yeah. Even for when Big Thunder Mountain opened, I think we were too young.
And then I went on the keel boats also more recently, and not that recently, but in Paris too. And there's something. I grew up watching the Davy Crockett shows on, I don't know, was it World of Disney or something? And so I think I had a more emotional connection with the keel boats than I do with the mine train, even though I think a lot of people would choose mine train. Like, if we were talking to people that were the people we would hang out with in the park on a bigger scale, I think there'd be a huge argument for mine train right now. And Roger's hopping in right now, and he's saying, I would love to have seen the old mine train. I would too. However, I loved the keel boat. So I'm going to vote keel boat.
I'm going to go mine train.
I figured. It's up to you, Murray.
I love the keel boats as well. I get to ride them quite a bit. It was my family's favorite thing. I loved riding on top when I could.
Oh, absolutely.
And I even loved like in the cabin area. Not sure what to call it.
Top's better though.
And then, I mean, I preferred it over any of the other watercraft in Rivers of America.
Oh, by far. Yeah.
However, I must say, and this is actually more basing on, I know it's not the same ride, but whenever I go to Knott's, I always ride the mine train there, Calico Mine.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. There's a few of the same elements. I think I would have to go with Rainbow Caverns. I think it's got that kind of a little more of a classic Disney attraction to it. It's got the story, it's got the fun gags. So yeah, I think that puts it.
I think that's 100% fair.
But yeah, keel boats. I wish I could have done them in Paris when I went. I think they were definitely closed.
Yeah,
at the time. So
they weren't open all the time, but they're fun. All right, what do we got next?
All right. We've got, speaking of, well, actually, this one probably is not going to be hard. I just didn't know what to put against it except for in the same line. So the Country Bear Jamboree or Teddy Bear Swinging Arcade. We got to go with at least one that's somewhat easy, right? That's
Country Bear. Do we even have to go into this?
The arcade.
Anyone wants to argue?
Don't give me that
Country
face, Mr. Daps.
Yeah, Country Bear. Okay.
Country Bear.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there the last weekend it was open. I don't think I was there the last night, but that's a weird.
I
time.
was 4.
So, like 4 years old, or just
When it closed?
Okay, like you were 4.
No. When Country Bear Jamboree closed at Disneyland. Well, when Country Bear Jamboree Vacation closed, I was 4. I don't know when the crossover from Country Bear to Vacation was, but
and I'm seeing in the chat that it's all about Country Bear. So we've got Mike.
It's all about the Country Bears.
There's Country Bear Jamboree all the way. Yeah, we will go with that. Oh, yeah. All right, what do we got next?
So I grouped. This was actually more just because of the amount of brackets and then to keep some lands together. So we got Jolly Trolley, but I grouped together kind of Chippendale Treehouse and Goofy's Bounce House. I know they're different in separate. Okay. Yeah, but it was sort of that playhouse style attractions that used to be in Toontown.
I'm just gonna say Jolly Trolley.
I'm gonna say Jolly Trolley.
None of them really blew me away, but Jolly Trolley added movement that I think really benefited Toontown. And I do think anytime you have something like that that's moving, whether it's big boats on Rivers of America or a monorail going around Tomorrowland, I just think it adds so much movement and magic to the land. And it's, that's one of the big losses, and I'm sure we'll get to, is the no people mover in Tomorrowland. Is people mover added some movement that really helped you forget where you were, one, and then in a weird way too, they also make you forget how hot it is. Because there's a you're like, oh, it's moving. There must be a breeze or something. Like
kinetic energy.
Right. All right. So there's my vote, is Jolly Trolley.
All right.
Jolly Trolley.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Jolly Trolley.
Juan says Jolly Trolley too.
Yeah. All right. As much as I actually didn't get to do the other two because I was too big. They actually had a different kind of height limit for Disneyland than you normally see. My brother got to do them though. He's younger.
Oh man, this next one.
Circle Vision.
Uh-huh.
Rocket to the Moon / Mission to Mars. It was roughly, some people are going to be mad. That's okay. They're roughly the same attraction, just different destinations for the most part.
That is hard.
Zooming on her face.
We have not covered Skybound. Like, this one's hard. All right, you go first, Murray.
I was gonna go for it.
Oh, go for it. I just didn't want to
go for it. Yeah.
Rocket to the Moon.
I think I'm actually going Rocket to the Moon. Mission to Mars. I had
Mars.
I actually get to do them.
I did do Mission to Mars. I don't remember.
Yeah, we were way too young for Rocket to the Moon.
Yeah,
I'd hope, unless there's something you want to tell us in your time traveling, Mr. Daps. But
the past is back, man.
I think more based on memories. I feel like it holds better memories for people.
Mm-hmm.
Those attractions.
Yeah. So we've got 2 votes in the comments though for Circle Vision.
Circle Vision. Yeah, I know.
I do remember really enjoying Circle Vision. I just also remember that Mission to Mars blew me away. Mm-hmm. And I was like 4 or something. Maybe I was 6.
It was me too.
But I just remember like Circle Vision just made me nauseous and I loved it. But because I got dizzy. And Mission to Mars was like I remember asking Dad afterwards, how'd they do that? Did we actually go, whatever. It wasn't amazing by today's standards, but
that might have been the first attraction for me that I kept wondering how they did certain things, because I was about the same age. And so going on it was like, oh my gosh, and there was sort of this like belief and disbelief at the same time. It was like, okay, I know we're not going, but it feels like we're going. And how did they do this? And yeah.
All right. So I think we're going against the trend of our viewers. We're saying Mission to Mars, right?
I think so.
All right, let's keep moving it forward.
All right. Going back over, this one might be a little less hard. We've got Phantom Boats or the Flying Saucers.
So to me, this one's easy, but I'll see what you guys say.
We've kind of got to experience the Flying Saucers in a way.
Which is why I, without a doubt, think Phantom Boats is the winner.
Wow. All right.
How about you, Caitie?
I'm also going to go with Phantom Boats. Again, because of experiencing flying saucers. And also, so here's the other thing. It didn't work in 2012 through 2015.
You have a point.
So why do we think it would be any better 40 plus years ago?
So interestingly, though, Phantom Boats didn't succeed too well either. They had a lot of issues at times.
That's true.
So what would you pick, Murray?
I actually would go with Flying Saucers because it is unique. Granted, it was so unique that they couldn't make it run.
Did you do the gummy bear version?
What's that?
Is the gummy bear version included in this anywhere?
I'm including that. I mean, it was an overlay.
Okay. Definitely Phantom Boats. Okay.
So as much as there's the gummy, I loved. There's a story that I'm not going to tell on here right now. I mean, I'm willing to tell the story, but that involves a lot of that overlay and other overlays during that time of the Disney.
That's my favorite story.
So
that's a good
as
story.
much as I loved the trip to Gummy Glen, I think just Flying Saucers was it was an unusual experience in a good way.
I'm still sticking with the boat.
Yeah. And we got 2 votes for it. I think it's got to go Phantom Boats.
Mainly because it's an experience I didn't like.
And that's probably a lot more of the population than me, I'd imagine.
I think if I hadn't experienced either of them or any variations of either of them, I could see myself going either way just because, I do love boats, but I do like I like the vision and the imagination behind the flying saucers. And unfortunately, I just was not a fan of Luigi's, and I think that carries over. All right, what do we got next?
All right. Heading back over, we've got, here we go, Submarine Voyage or Rocket Ride.
Easy, for me at least. All right.
No, probably.
Very quickly, we don't need to go into this too deep, do we? Like, I feel like this is just a vote, right?
I'm going Rocket Rods, though, actually.
Really?
Believe it or not. I loved Rocket Rods.
I was so uncomfortable with them. I think I went once or twice, and I was like, "This is not comfortable."
I love the idea of Rocket Rods, and I am so. No, I know. My vote is the subs.
Okay.
I just wish that I had been old enough / tall enough to ride the Rocket Rods when they were at Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like that is right up my alley.
I really thought you were going to have a video for us right now, Murray, of Rocket Rods.
Do we
everybody motion sick so fast? I think it's Submarine Voyage for me too. Because as much as I enjoyed the new Submarine Voyage, the original, I don't know, it just felt like you're coming out of a true life adventure or something, or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Like it had that really awesome old school iconic memory. And we don't personally have a video of that. I never filmed it. So unless you filmed it,
sadly no. Yeah.
If you have a video that you'd like us to post of Rocket Rod, send it to us and we would post it. We would love it.
Okay, I have to say I gotta be I always get these mixed up, non-subjective, I think, with it. Rocket Rods is a lot more emotional for me. I think Submarine Voyage was the better attraction. It had the story, it had the effects. Yeah.
Well, and it'd be interesting too, because if it were Rocket Rods versus the current Submarine Voyage, if that one was gone, I might change my vote a little bit. I probably wouldn't, but I could see myself waffling a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the other side. See what we got.
Innoventions or Star Tours 1.0? The not continuous adventures.
The attempted Endor.
The Captain Rex from the cockpit.
I've got Captain
Is
Rex right
this
behind me. Like this. This is. There he is.
is this fully functional interventions? Is this like with pre-show with Tom Morrow?
I mean, there's
like
different iterations of interventions. We'll go with all of them, but you can include the full interventions. Yeah, in its heyday, original host, live host. You could go with that.
I know the answer is Star Tours. Let's not get this wrong. But my God, when I was in middle school, I spent so much time in interventions. Like, that was when I was like cool and I was like hanging out with my friends.
It was a home to VMK.
Oh my God. Okay. I had one of the started my account for VMK in the parks at intervention. So I had the little Mickey, the special Mickey ears. And that's when my internet addiction began.
So are you voting for interventions then?
Oh my gosh, I might be.
You're allowed to. Yeah. Okay. She voted for interventions. What do you think, Murray?
I'm gonna go with Star Tours 1.0.
I
think just because we do have the adventures continue. So
but Rex
continued. I know.
Like to me, it's all about Rex, and I always enjoyed, and I feel like I'm going to be vague, but I'm also going to give a thing. Is my friend's godfather was the X-Wing pilot that saved you, and I always thought that was fun towards the end. And there's just lots of.
Was he the one that said "Red 24, Red 30, follow me"?
I think it was the Star Tours. What are you doing here?
That one, okay.
Yeah, but there was something that, and it could be a generational thing too, but it really took you into the story in a way that a lot of attractions attempt to do and didn't always hit. And I think the way they did it with that is more effective. Like the new one is ridiculously awesome and it's got fantastic storylines, but the original one just nailed it. Like I would still love if they went back and they made like one of the Star Tours trips the original one somehow, sorry, C-3PO, I want Rex.
I miss Rex.
Yeah. All right. That was a good one.
Star
Tours was, and that's what they're saying on the
and I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all.
No, I knew what I was doing making the bracket. I will admit, Interventions was really great in its heyday. I loved it.
Three of us probably spent more time in Interventions than we did on Star Tours. Like it was a regular destination. If it wasn't for because
time-wise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, and
but I went on Star Tours a lot back in the day.
So maybe two of us went. We went to Interventions a lot. Anyway,
there used to be no line at one point towards its end.
That is true. That is true.
All right. So we are going to Captain EO and Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
That one's harder in my head than it should be.
I say Captain EO.
I've got to say Captain EO.
I think I do too.
I also think that I only experienced Honey, I Shrunk the Audience twice, maybe. And I remember it being it's tough to be a bug, which I did not like.
Okay.
Yeah, it did have
I remember the things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good show, but
it was great.
EO was iconic, and it was not iconic.
Yeah.
So I think Captain EO is a great.
Captain EO is just in its own league.
All right, let's move right along.
All right, we're getting to some. Oh, I have Rocket Rods twice. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I didn't even check that.
Maybe it'll make the next one easier.
Oh, you know what? Okay. We're gonna go classic. We're gonna make a quick change.
Okay.
Oh,
good call.
Ooh. Okay, I can do that.
Okay. All right, but we have to do
because we're gonna have a different version in Magic Kingdom, which it actually was when it was first in Disneyland. It was a very different version.
First, though, or no?
What's that?
Do we need to switch to the other side first, or no?
No, we're actually we're at the bottom. We're going to be at the bottom of both.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So Carousel of Progress or American Sings, huh? What do you think?
Carousel of Progress.
Murray?
I have watched. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep talking. I have watched.
She's like, Geeks Corner's coming tomorrow night. I'm going to talk lots tonight.
Oof. Ain't that the truth?
I do my best.
I know. I don't even remember.
Murray, tell us what you think.
Oh my gosh.
As much as I like America Sings, because I think the classic Carousel of Progress, I liked it. I don't, I actually like the newer version more. Even though the ending is outdated again, I think it has that interesting
commercial.
It was more of a commercial as the old one.
Because I feel like when it was GE, it was very like, this is our products, or these are our products we're trying to sell, with a really great tune by the Sherman Brothers. And then once they dropped the sponsorship, it became more of what we're
the actual Progress. Yeah. So I still got to go with Carousel though. I mean, America Sings. I think I listened to a lot soundtrack wise, and I got to actually experience.
I listened to that one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I got to go with classic Carousel.
Okay. Caitie? Sticking with Carousel?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Carousel.
Carousel it is. All right. Okay. Cool. Off to the left.
All right. Here we go. We're almost, and we still have to go, but it'll get, easier and
it'll get easier.
All right. This, I don't know how hard this is going to be. People Mover or Adventures Through Inner Space?
Okay. People Mover.
People Mover.
Right at the gate.
I'm going with
I think People Mover
again for what I said earlier of what it did for the land entirely. Adventures Through Inner Space looked cool, kind of a fun experience, but it didn't dynamically add to the land in the same way that fundamentally changes the experience that the People Mover did, and still does in Florida. Like it's got something that just changes the area and the experience. So I'm going with People Mover.
All right.
Again, I say kinetic energy.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I think that should be like a siren, like wah wah wah, kinetic energy.
Okay, well that was easier than I think Murray thought it was going to be.
So,
okay.
So this is non-specific station-wise Skyway, but Skyway in Videopolis.
The whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Skyway personally.
I'm also going to go with Skyway, and you want to know why?
Why?
What could it be? Kinetic energy!
I will say I think Videopolis was a very interesting notion. I think it gave way to a lot in some of the other parks. But yeah, I got to go with Skyway. I think it was kinetic, like you're saying. I think it was a much more memorable attraction. So,
well, and there's other gondolas in other places, but they don't have the same level of magic that the Skyway did. And
the other thing is that if Videopolis was anything like what we saw at 80s Night, it was far too loud for me.
Probably was. I
sound like such an old lady being like, "Get off my lawn!" But
our
truly,
new kids.
Well, I think it wasn't distinctly Disney.
It wasn't.
No.
What is it?
And the Skyway isn't necessarily distinctly Disney either, but the location that it's in made it, which you could also make that same argument for Videopolis. However, it was a better view for the Skyway.
I also think that the Skyway was more something that families could do together. I know that Videopolis wasn't exclusively a teen club. Like, that's not what it was made to be. But that is kind of what it turned into. I'm not saying that is a bad thing.
Okay. That's fine.
Kids in the 80s were at Disneyland.
They are in the 90s, 2000s, and 2000 teens also. And I don't know what the next one is. All right. 2020s. Is that what they're going to be?
Yeah.
All right.
The roaring 20s.
All right. We're narrowing down. So we got the Golden Horseshoe versus Big Thunder Ranch.
Did we finish everything on the left?
Yeah. We did. I can go. Well, I'll. Yeah.
We'll go back later. All right.
We can go back.
Golden Horseshoe versus Big Thunder Ranch.
I say the ranch.
I say Golden Horseshoe, so it's up to you, Murray.
Of course you do.
I think I got to go with the Golden Horseshoe.
I think I do too. Just because
Wally Bug. Classic.
That's kind of what I was stuck with too. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The nice thing about these rounds is we won't have to make as many arguments.
Maybe.
We've already kind of made arguments for these things, so
we'll just bring them up again. We just have to say it in like one statement. Wally Bug. All right. So on this side, we've got the Walt Disney Story versus Tahitian Terrace.
Walt Disney Story.
I was gonna go Tahitian Terrace.
Of course you were.
Sorry, this is. I feel bad because I feel like we're ganging up on Caitie already. I gotta go with Tahitian Terrace
already?
also.
As if you haven't been for the last 45 minutes.
Give your reason, Murray.
For the actual show, the ambiance, I think it. It was what we brought up. It very much fit in the land. It very much was like a full attraction show for it. That, was a spectacle, really. Yeah.
I think it was more unique than of the two. It was the more unique and not distinctly Disney, but it did. You can go to Hawaii and have something like that. But
are you Bob Iger? You keep saying distinctly Disney.
No, it's uniquely Disney. It's distinctly Disney, uniquely Chinese. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, what's next, Mike?
All right. Let me mark this down.
Moving right along, Fozzie.
Ooh, yes, sir. So we got. Hopefully, nobody's doing a certain game right now. We've got Rainbow Caverns versus Jolly Trolley.
Rainbow Caverns.
I'm also going to say Rainbow Caverns. Would anyone like to disagree with me?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go Rainbow Caverns. Yeah.
That one was easy. Good job, guys. We did it.
All right.
We agreed on one.
All right, we've got Disney Gallery or Country Bear.
Ooh.
I'm afraid to even speak now.
That one is
I'm gonna
say shoulder pork will decide for you.
I want shoulder pork to say nothing.
All right, so gallery or bears?
I'm going to say the gallery because it is a more unique experience that you cannot have anywhere else. And it is something that has not been replicated really in any other park.
Okay.
Someone tell me why I'm wrong.
I don't know.
That's actually a really good point.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
Because we still have Country Bear in Disney World.
I'm seeing a comment in the chat from Mike that says bears.
I do also love bears.
I think what you bring up about it being unique, I think I got to go Disney Gallery, as weird as that is. I think just because it's still in Disney World.
So we have two votes for Country Bears now.
Or no, Disney Gallery.
No, I'm saying in the chat.
Oh.
I'm just monitoring what's going on. I could go either way, and just for the sake of argument, I'm going to come down on the Country Bear side, mainly because it was more of an experience than a location. And but I don't have a hill on that one.
I don't have a big one either. This was actually hard for me.
I think it's fair. All right, gallery. I mean, it's not going to win against the Terrace, so
no. Wouldn't it be funny if that ends up being the winner overall?
Disney Gallery.
It's like basketball, where sometimes a really good team gets knocked out early, and they probably should have won, but they don't. All right.
I'm wearing a certain hat that people could feel a certain way too. All right, so we've got Phantom Boats versus Star Tours. I have a feeling
Star Tours.
Not Phantom Boats? No, I got to go Star Tours. Also.
Not even close. Wouldn't it be funny if that one won, huh?
Oh,
it's got a chance.
More. There's others coming up. This is really hard.
Everyone in the chat, place your bets for what you think is going to win.
You kind of need,
But don't bet anything, like nothing illegal.
So next,
please don't bet anything illegal.
No gambling. All right.
Mission to Mars versus, or Rocket to Moon, Mission to Mars versus the submarine voyage.
That one's harder.
Mission to Mars.
Yeah, I think so.
I am gonna go submarine voyage.
Because the problem is
story.
It's not actually a problem, but it's the thing that really is good about both of them is they did take you on an adventure that took you out of your norm, whether it was going underground or underwater or into space. Both of them did an effective job of taking you out of your normal environment.
Oh yeah,
but
it's great animatronics, great.
Space the Final Frontier won though.
What's that?
But Space won. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh, if I can spell. There we go. All right. Heading back over. We've got Carousel of Progress or Skyway.
Carousel? Because it has a more catchy song?
I'm going to go Skyway. I think the height gives it a bit of a thrill.
Okay. And you get to go through the Matterhorn.
The view.
All right, Caitie, it's up to you.
It's tough.
It is. Either of them are right answers.
I'm going to say the Skyway.
All right.
Part of that is because I think the Skyway is so iconic.
Yep.
I feel like if you talk to most anyone that has been on the Skyway, that is something that gets brought up in any conversation about Disneyland.
Yep. And, Magic Kingdom 2, which we haven't gotten to that yet, and we will in another
we will.
Oh yeah.
But, we do have a really great video that I think you shot, right, Murry?
We do.
That's from '96. Is that correct?
I think it's Magic Kingdom Skyway.
Yeah, but it still gives you a general look at that if you want, and you can
96.
find it.
Good year.
90s, man.
90s, back in the day.
All right.
1996.
All right. Oh, this one's easy for me. I don't know about everybody else, but
Captain EO or the People Mover. It might be
People
relatively
Mover.
easy.
People Mover.
People Mover.
Unanimous.
Captain EO. I mean, it's not to say that Captain EO is bad. I really liked it. I think it was a great thing.
I think it's equally iconic. Like, I think actually, if you were not a Disney fan growing up and you weren't a regular, like if you went to Disneyland like once in your entire growing up, you probably knew EO more than you knew People Mover. So from a bigger picture of like non-Disney fans, you probably knew Captain EO more than you knew People Mover just because you knew Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting though, even with that, like there is that span of time, and then like from the greater picture, I think People Mover has the bigger place.
I'm pretty sure I have a memory of my parents being super excited about Captain EO when it came out when I was a kid because they could go see Michael Jackson in a Disney theme park, and it was like the best of both worlds. And they were equally excited about the People Mover, I think, also because I do remember doing that also. But yeah, all right, let's move it right along.
All right, I think I'm going to stay on one side for these. Okay, we'll build up to some stuff. So we've got the Tahitian Terrace or the Disney Gallery. I should not laugh at this, but it's kind of
the Terrace.
This was so difficult. No, it's the Terrace. Like there's no brain. Like it's
Terrace.
I would actually go Disney Gallery. I think. I mean, I'm trying to be objective, but I think the view. I think the atmosphere. I don't know. No. Now I think about it, for the number of people that actually went through everything, probably they went to Tahitian Terrace more. Now that I think about it.
Think of iconic memories or like burned in your brain memories.
Yeah.
It was always like, oh, my dad got pulled up at the Tahitian Terrace. Yeah. Or, oh, my like those were the moments that you remembered. And I have fond memories of the Disney Gallery, and I can remember one or two moments, but they weren't that like really Disney magic moments. They were an interpersonal magic moment of like, oh, we had this really, I mean, it's kind of like when we met on Main Street. Like that was a fun, positive, magical Disney moment, but it wasn't one of those like, look what happened, like.
What happened?
Exactly.
So, Tahitian Terrace is inching its way to the finals. Just
It is.
we all know.
It really is.
All right.
But that's not such a bad thing, is it?
No,
Like,
I guess not. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
That's very interesting. I did not think that would happen, but next
that's the hard part with brackets is you never know. Like if we'd have done this like we did the best Disney attractions. In fact, I almost feel like we need to go back after we're done with this series of DAPs Magic Live and do the Disney attractions again, and see if we come up with the same answer with brackets, because that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we can even get like another person that wasn't part of the first one just to mix things up also. And we can see what happens when you have 4 people in the mini windows. All right, what do we got next, Murry?
Mission to Mars versus People Mover.
People Mover.
People Mover.
Yeah, I think I gotta go People Mover also. Well, I mean, Mission to Mars.
I was half expecting like Mission to Mars. I don't know.
No, I almost did, but I think again, it's the lasting memory. I think there's a lot of memories of Mission to Mars, but I think there's more with People Mover. That and I'm seeing the experience. I think
and what it does for the land. Yeah.
All right, the other side.
And Angela is right. There is the People Mover sneaking up against the Tahitian Terrace on the other side.
Yeah.
This is coming, so be ready to give your opinions, people, because we may look at them and then ignore them. But we also might take them into account.
So we got the Golden Horseshoe versus the Rainbow Caverns Mine Train.
Oh, that one's hard. I actually think that one is hard.
I think I'm going to go Rainbow Caverns.
Because
it's an actual.
I actually am leaning that direction as well.
Yeah.
But what about Wally Bug?
I know.
Like
Wally
Bug
and world record.
World record.
World record.
I feel like Rainbow Caverns actually brought more to maybe not even just Disneyland, to like other places too. Like there's a lot of inspiration from
it. And I kind of think it'd be an interesting conversation, but there's a lasting legacy that came with the Rainbow Caverns that continues on today that you see a little bit more. Whereas I think there's a recognition of the other, but they really, like, you see elements of it in newer shows, but there's not the same connection to the past beyond, maybe some people that connect with it in a show or something. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, we got it.
All right, Star Tours versus Skyway.
This is hard.
What is kinetic?
Oh,
Kinetic!
Star Tours versus Skyway. Oh man, I actually have that one's hard. Flight of Passage. Let's go.
I think I'm going to go Star Tours because of now what's in the park.
Well, and yeah, I think so too. Because to me, it comes down to which attraction, if I could pick one of the two, would I want to experience again? And I would probably choose Star Tours 1.0 before
Yeah.
Like Skyway was fun, but Star Tours, yeah. I'm going to go with Star Tours. Caitie, what do you think?
I was also going to say Star Tours. I don't think it matters at this point.
Now you're going to say Skyway.
It's a stronger case then.
Yeah, but I agree with what you said. I greatly missed Star Tours 1.0. I miss Rex. And there is a magic about Star Tours 1.0 that just doesn't really
you can't replace
exist in the Skyway.
Okay. All right.
So
what's next, Murry?
Tahitian Terrace versus People Mover.
People Mover.
Actually, let's go. Okay, we want to go here. Okay. Yeah, I think People Mover.
I think it is too. Like, mainly, People Mover. Even when you weren't on it, you were experiencing it. Tahitian Terrace, you had to go in and be one of the 60, 120 people that were in the space to experience it. That was way easier than I thought it was going to be.
Oof.
Rainbow Caverns versus Star Tours.
Star Tours. What I'm going for here. Let me just talk.
No, go,
well,
Talk away while we think.
I'm going for like a gut reaction.
Oh, so
I
you're going
like,
up
yeah. So like, I'm not giving myself time to think.
You're using the Force.
No.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Murray, what do you think?
Yeah.
This is actually hard.
Yeah, it is.
Because I'm trying to think through for not having experienced Rainbow Cavern. Because it was an actual like moving attraction. I mean, Star Tours moves, I know, but has more of that simulator.
Do you think Rainbow impacted the land on a greater scale than Star Tours, much in the way that People Mover did?
As far as kinetics, I don't know. Just for not knowing enough.
Like,
but
I think it was more visual, though.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, one of the great things that I thought about Disneyland Paris is when you go by Star Tours, you see a big X-wing on top of the entrance, or is that the exit? But there's that big X-wing there. Yeah. And then when you move over to Walt Disney World at Disney's Hollywood Studios, you've got that amazing entrance. Yeah, that you're indoor. Yeah, it's a fantastic entrance. And so it impacts the area around it, and it creates the experience before you've even gotten to it, and it really develops the land. And one of the things I think that Star Tours at Disneyland doesn't have the same necessarily impact on the land is you just have a really cool modern, I don't even know what it's called, style that you're walking in, and you got a cool, kind of cool mural on the wall on the outside, but you could really throw any attraction in there and put a new sign up, and it really wouldn't make a huge difference. Whereas, like, I would love to see if you could do it my way, you would have like a Star Cruiser on the roof or something. Like, you'd actually see it there, so it became like the story started before you went in, as opposed to just a sign for a story.
Yeah,
and so that's where I'm kind of going back to Rainbow Caverns because it really did envelop the land, and it helped create the land into a bigger picture story. And that's always been the challenge with Tomorrowland.
Especially having Star Tours in Tomorrowland, I think also.
It's confusing a little bit.
More fictional, yeah. I think Rainbow. I think
that's fair.
I think it's fair.
So we are at the showdown, the ultimate showdown.
Two moving attractions from different millennia.
I think they overlapped at one point.
Well, no, I mean, like, one is a representation of the past, and one is a representation coming in the future. And I think in their heads, they were like hundreds of years apart. Yeah.
So, People Mover versus Rainbow Caverns Mine Train,
which is actually kind of a hard question as you think about it. I mean, I know what I think I would choose. I think I've chosen. I think I have reasons. I think I would say People Mover.
People Mover.
Are we all saying People Mover?
I will help it just in case there's some controversy online. I think it was also
shows up in the chat. Maybe People Mover.
People Mover was the like Walt Disney made it to be an innovator for all of society. Yeah. So not just the park, but everything. The People Train. We didn't even have the People Train, but we could have had the People Train. Just combine them all. The Tahitian People Train tour. Anyway, yeah, I think that's why.
Okay, I like that. But I think from a vision standpoint, you could make almost the same argument for Rainbow Caverns. You know, here you leave today and go to the world of, what is it, yesterday, tomorrow, and Fantasyland or fantasy. And I probably get the order wrong, but so you could make a similar argument. It didn't necessarily contribute to society in the same way People Mover hoped it would. I think he was more effective with the monorail in that regard, where you have seen that replicated, and he really brought that to the forefront, even though he wasn't the first one to use it. But talk about a good marketing for a form of transportation. I think there was more. I'm going to get pushback on this, I know, from a bunch of fans that actually experienced the Caverns. But to me, there's still something really magical of getting to go through up in the sky. Like, there's something really awesome about that. And so, and I think it really brought together Tomorrowland in a way that probably hasn't been hit yet. Like, it just makes Tomorrowland feel a little bit more cohesive, even though I don't know that it's ever been really cohesive in any way. But I mean, they've made great efforts, and there's been attempts, but it's been one of those kind of really challenging things. And I think the People Mover helps cover up some of those challenges. Caitie, validate the People Mover.
Validate the People Mover?
Well, unless you want to switch to Rainbow.
No, I don't. I don't know. My issue is that so here's I just like it, which I feel like is a valid reason. But thinking about it, it's not a unique experience to Disneyland. But I don't think with the People Mover that necessarily matters. Because yes, the attraction has been replicated and duplicated. But the views are different. Like, you aren't on the People Mover in Disneyland. Well, and I think
to add to that is the People Mover in Florida, to me, is fun, but it's not nearly as magical as the one at Disneyland was. Like, I always think of that part where you're going around and it's going up the curve, kind of around the Tomorrow or the monorail stand.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
where you're not just staying on one level and going around like in Florida, but it really did, like, it was all over the place, and it was kind of ridiculous when you think about it, and I think that's part of what made it so cool. Yeah. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
No, but that's part of it, is that it is so intertwined with Tomorrowland and, I mean, kinetic energy. But I just think that the People Mover period is what brought Tomorrowland together. I think there's a storytelling aspect to it. And like I said, there's just something magical about going and seeing, it's kind of like the Skyway, seeing Disneyland from kind of like a different perspective. And yeah.
All right.
I don't know, man.
So do we have a winner? Is that what I'm hearing? All right. So for Disneyland, we can now definitively say that the People Mover is the best extinct attraction at Disneyland. This isn't for the whole resort yet, but we will get to that. So I think, actually, since we've been on this for over an hour, we should save Disney California Adventure for next time. Does that sound like a good plan to you guys?
Yeah.
Because we're planning this as we go, like, clearly, like, we've thought this through. So we are going to call it for tonight. This has been a lot of fun for us. We hope it's been fun for you. Let us know in the comments if you think the People Mover really is the best Disneyland attraction. Extinct attraction, sorry. We will have to go back to the other one. And And we'd love to hear from you. And feel free to join us tomorrow night. We will be live at 9:30 for Geeks Corner. Also subscribe to this channel because Murray will be live, I am sure, this week with some more retro video games that are a blast. You're just fantastic at it, and it's fun to watch because you play video games.
It's so good.
It was one of those things where you're like, I have this idea, I want to do this. I'm like, okay, I don't get it, but whatever. And then once I watched it that first time, I was like, I get it. It's
I
good.
hit walls a lot. I don't know how.
Prom.
So anyway, our next DAPs Magic Live, we will hit Disney California Adventure. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming live streams, or we've got a ton of retro videos coming up. And you won't want to miss those either because those are just fantastic as well. But that is all the time we have for tonight. Make sure to subscribe to DAPs Magic as well because we got a lot of articles going up as well. But we hope you have a great night, and we hope that sooner rather than later, we'll get to see you guys in the parks. See you later, guys.